On December 2nd, 2015, 14 people were killed and 17 were wounded in a shooting in a hospital in San Bernardino, California. Now, the perpetrators of the shooting were not Christians, they were not right-wing extremists, they were Muslims. And just as the Paris terror attacks, just as the Chattanooga, Tennessee attack, they were Muslims. Now, the thing about Muslims is that they follow a religion which says to kill the infidels, the non-Muslims. And they follow it. At least some of them do. Just like with the state of ISIS, which says that these two people, a husband and wife, who shot up the hospital were supporters of ISIS. ISIS says that. And I see no reason to doubt them. Islam is a religion of violence. It is not a religion of peace. It is a religion that advocates the murder of those who are not Muslims. It is suicidal to allow these people to enter our countries, whether it be the United States, whether it be European countries, whether it be Canada or Australia. We cannot allow these people in. They are hurting us. They are killing us. They are raping us. And we cannot allow these people in. They already impose Sharia laws in their own communities, in the Middle East, and in non-Muslim countries outside of the Middle East. These people will continue to commit violent actions. Now, not all Muslims do this, but there's still a percentage that does. And when you have a religion that says to kill people because they aren't Muslims, they will kill people. There will still be some people in that religion who follow their religion and kill non-Muslims. This is common sense to understand this concept. Yet so many people either don't understand it or just don't care. So many non-Muslims want their own altruism to rule their logic, want their own compassion, which, even though they mean well, doesn't mean that it ends well. There are people that want these people in. They care about them. They see people suffering. They see Syrians suffering from a brutal war, and they want to help them. This is a natural human emotion of compassion. Many people have it. Most people do to an extent. And it's understandable that you want to help people, for those of you watching this that want to help people. But you need to understand that it isn't just a situation of helping people. It's a situation of helping certain people and causing the destruction of your own nations, the murder of your own countrymen, the rape of your own countrywomen, to allow them in. Now, as a human being, I care about Muslims too. I certainly don't feel joy when I hear about Muslims being killed in Syria. I don't get giddy about it. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Arabs. But that doesn't mean that I want them coming into my country either, considering they kill us. They kill innocent human beings who aren't Muslim, and we're just supposed to continue allowing them in. Now, the governor of Kansas, Governor Brownback, and the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, as well as many other governors of the United States, have opposed allowing these Muslims in, for logical reasons. That was after the Paris attack. Now look at them. They were saying that they didn't want Muslims in their states before the San Bernardino attack. And what did the San Bernardino attack prove? That they were right. The wife was an immigrant from Pakistan. We can't allow these Muslims into our countries for our own sake. Muslims have a history of violence towards others. That's how Islam was spread about in the Middle East in the first place. That's how Spain was conquered in 711 by Muslims. A conquering that didn't end until 1492, at least not in full. Spain wasn't fully recovered from the Muslims until 1492, from 711. That's several hundred years. Balkans were also invaded by the Ottoman Empire, in which several areas, several countries of the Balkans, several modern countries anyway, were taken over by them. These people have a history of violence towards us, towards Europeans, and European-descended people worldwide, as well as other people who are not European-descended, who are not Europeans. They have a violence towards people of all races, of all colors, of all religions except Islam at least, and are a threat to all of us. We cannot allow them in. I'm just one person. I can't do everything. I don't have control of the world, and I can't just say that Muslims can't come here. But we, as human beings, as Americans, as non-Muslims, must realize this threat and act upon it. When there are government initiatives to not allow Muslims into our countries, we must support them. To help our own people, to help our own countrymen, to help our own countrywomen, to help our children, to help sustain our children's futures. Sweden is set to be a Muslim country by 2050. The UK too. France before then. I don't know when the United States will fall, or when other countries will fall, but I know these facts. Muslims are coming into our countries at an accelerating rate. The natives of these countries are not replacing themselves. They have a non-replacing birth rate. But the Muslims don't. They do have a replacing birth rate, and they are replacing themselves. They're replacing themselves in their own countries, and when they come here, they're replacing themselves. When they come to Europe or Canada, they're replacing themselves. I sincerely care about Americans. I sincerely care about non-Muslims. I sincerely care about Muslims. But we must realize that even though our hearts tell us to do one thing, to allow these Muslims in, our minds tell us another thing. And we must listen with our minds, because our hearts are not our most rational body part. As a concerned American, as a concerned infidel, I would like to say one last thing, and that is that I implore all of you watching this video to think about the words I've said, to think about the threats to your own countries, to your own families, to your own friends, to your own towns, to your own counties, to your own regions of your own countries, and realize that something must be done. This has been a concerned infidel, signing off.